had the best day ever, Kiona. I aced my math test, and it was pizza day in the cafeteria. Kiona understands me because she's the smartest, the bestest, and the cutest dog in the world. Yes, you are. But I'm wondering the same thing as Leah.
Do humans really understand dogs?
I'm really not sure. But I'll find out by the end of the show. Maybe if I understood Kiona a little bit better, I could teach her new tricks. Roll over. No, roll over, not stay, roll. Well, I have the same question as Soham.
How do you get a dog to do whatever you want?
I found the perfect place to find an answer, Soham. There's a dog training camp where kids can learn how to get their dogs to do super cool tricks. I'm gonna meet Antoine and his dog Caramel, Noah and Bodie, and Cecile and Bella. Marianne, the dog trainer, will be there too. I know exactly what Kiona would say about going to camp. Camp? Roasted marshmallows? Swimming in the lake? Oh yeah! It's not that kind of camp, but it'll be just as fun. Wow. Antoine's dog knows how to sit. He gives his paw. Wow. And he lies down on command. If Kiona learned tricks like that, she'd be a superstar at the dog park. Please, no selfies. If I have to do one, I have to do 100. Woof. How do you make your dog do tricks like that?
You have to build up trust with your dog. The tunnel trick is a good way to start.
Let's do it, Kiona.
You go through the tunnel first to show your dog. Hold out a treat and tell her to come.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kiki, come. Come here. Come on. Come on. Good girl.
Very good.
So when Kiona saw me go through the tunnel, she knew it was okay for her to do it too?
Yeah, you build up trust with her.
Do you always use treats as rewards?
Not just treats. We can also use toys because dogs love to play.
Even grown-up dogs love to play. So playtime is a great reward and it builds up the friendship between you and your dog. BFFs. Playing is the best part. But how do you teach a dog to sit? I'll show you. First, you throw a treat. Then, you let her know you have another one. You close your hand, put it on your chest, and say sit. And then you reward her. Let me give it a try. Kiki, look what I have. Okay, come here. Sit. Good girl. The reason you raise your hand up to your chest is because she looks up at it, and it kind of makes her sit naturally. Good girl. And always make sure you give her lots of praise after she does a trick or learns something. Good girl. Dogs know by the sound of your voice if you're rewarding them or scolding them. You want to teach Kiona how to do a double high five? Yeah, sure. First, you show her you have a treat. Then, you put it in your hand, put your hands up, and say high five. I see. It makes her put her paws into the right spot for a high five. Good boy. Then you reward them. You ready? High five. Good girl. Hey, Zoe, do you know the right way to hold a leash? Just hold on and don't let go? Not exactly. Put your right hand in the loop and hold on. With your left hand, lower down the leash, hold on tight. Like that? Yeah. And the most important part of walking your dog is the poo bag. Yep, I always have poo bags with me. You poop, I scoop. Boop, boop, be-doop. Dog poop makes me think of dog butts. And this question from Jonah. Why do dogs sniff each other's butts? Hi, Marianne.
Hi, Zoe.
So you train dogs, so you probably see dogs sniff each other's butt all the time. Why do they do that?
Well, dogs sniff each other's butt to say hello. It's kind of their way of saying hi, and they get a lot of information about each other by doing that.
Well, hello there. Nice to meet you. Woof, woof.
The side of a dog's butt have glands that secretes odors and chemicals. Other dogs can learn a lot from it, their age, their health, what they ate, and even how they're feeling.
Kind of like the dog version of shaking hands or hugging.
Yeah, so dogs often are gonna go smell your shoes, smell your coat, and they're getting the same information, but about us this time.
It helps them understand us. Now that I know that, it helps me understand them.
Yeah, and also they understand your body language. Watch, I'll point and Rudy will follow. Yes, good girl.
Thanks for helping me understand more about dogs, everyone.
You're welcome.
Me and Kiona are gonna keep learning new tricks. We are? Usman has a question about how dogs manage to figure out something really special.
How do dogs know where to go when their owner is blind?
Dogs can do all kinds of jobs. You train them and they get rewards, like playtime. That's a reward, isn't it? Yes, it is. But if you have a dog for a blind person, I found out they get special training. They're called guide dogs. They learn to stop at curbs and follow orders. If there's danger, like the sound of traffic at a crossroad, the dog won't move until it's safe. The dog owner tells the dog when to turn, and it's up to the dog to stay away from danger. I found out that there are also specially trained dogs for kids with autism, which is something some kids are born with. But not all autistic kids are the same, just like I'm not the same as all of my friends. I invited someone who can help me find out more about her special dog. Please welcome to today's show, Taylor Passmore and her dog Solo. Hi, Taylor.
Hey Zoe, how's it going?
Good. Hi, Solo. So what's so special about Solo?
She's actually one of the first autistic service dogs, and these dogs have not been around for a very long time.
So how does Solo help you?
I suffer from ADHD and autism, so I get super stressed out. And for people that don't suffer from autism, it's perfectly fine, but for me, it's really hard for me to work. Just a simple math test, I just get so stressed out. When Solo's with me, just knowing that she's there helps me, but in case I just get too stressed out, I just give her a little cuddle, as if it's just me and her in the room.
So how do kids in your class react?
Even the teacher says it just makes everyone feel calm. Have a look.
It's fun to have her in a class, and it's funny when we're reading and she just snores.
Sometimes we have to tap Taylor on the shoulder and get her to wake Solo up.
We're really lucky to have Solo because, like, when we were doing our exams, we were, like, all stressed out, but sometimes we'll look at Solo and, like, the stress will go away.
Yeah, like you see Solo, then you're like, oh.
Well, you can't really interact with the dog because it's working, and we can't touch her when she has her harness on.
So why can't they pet Solo?
Well, it would just basically be really hard for her to concentrate if everyone's just petting her left and right. She wouldn't be knowing who to help, and she would just get super confused.
So when the harness is on, she knows it's work?
Yes, and as soon as I take it off, she's like any other house dog. And she's still a little puppy, so she would just be running around crazy.
So do you take Solo everywhere?
I could take Solo anywhere. We go to restaurants, movie theaters, airports, malls, practically anywhere. I'm always with her. We're a team. She even sleeps in my bed with me. Before I got her, I was just so stressed out, but just knowing that she's there just makes me feel a lot calmer. She's my best friend.
Well, thanks, Taylor and Solo, for helping me find stuff out.
It was no trouble at all.
Looks like my dog, Kiona's having her afternoon nap. That reminds me of a question I got from Michael.
Do dogs dream?
I've seen Kiona twitching. She twitches her ears, her eyes, even her legs when she's sleeping. So I think she's dreaming. It looks like scientists think so too. They found out that a dog's brain and a human's brain work a bit the same during sleep time. So they're pretty sure that just like us, dogs have dreams. But what do they dream about? I can answer that in a song. I'm dreaming doggy dreams. I'm chasing the sunbeams. This is my doggy dream. I'm chilling in stream. I am the boss of the town where there's lots of frisbees and squirrels and super doggy love. If you see me twitching, it's because I'm itching to play in my dream, to be the dog supreme. It's my adventure. I am the inventor of my doggy fun time zone. Give this dog a bone. I'm dreaming doggy dreams. I'm dreaming doggy dreams. I'm dreaming dog of dreams. I'm dreaming dog of dreams. Dogs probably sniff everything in their dreams. Kiona often smells things that I don't even see.
How can dogs smell things we can't smell?
I found out that smell is the main way dogs download information about the world around them. And their nose has about 300 million smell receptors that help them sniff things out. Hey, people only have about 6 million. Scientists think that dogs can smell 10,000 to 100,000 times better than people. What? My sense of smell times 100,000? A skunk smell would knock me out! The trash can stink would be unbelievable! Ew! You're gonna make my head explode! I also found out dogs can use their powerful sense of smell to do amazing stuff. They use their nose to know which direction to go when looking for missing people. The first footprints have less smell than the next ones, so the dog knows which way the person went. They can also be trained to find people under rubble after an earthquake, and to sniff out bombs, money, and even bed bugs. And that gives me an idea for... my great challenge! Today's challengers are Emma and Isla on Team Smell Hunters, and Usman and Audra on Team Sniff Detectives. Think you can sniff things as well as dogs can? Yeah. Yes. No. Yes. No. Well, that's your challenge. You're going to take a big whiff of this box, and you have to go out and find the matching one that I've hidden and bring it back here. Ew. There you go. Okay. Ready? Set, go! I put all kinds of smelly things in those boxes. Can they remember the first one I made them sniff? It was chicken poop. I found one, come. No, this smells like nail polish. Oh, I found one. Ew, I found it. Let's see if you guys are right. Found one. Found it. Oh, you guys are right. Yes! Is this right? I don't know. No, it's this one. You guys got it. Okay. Time for the second challenge. Guess that smell. You have to smell each of the 8 boxes, and then you have to match the pictures with the boxes that you smell. Team Smell Hunters, go! Oh, it smells like coffee. It's coffee. Coffee? It's coffee. Okay. Oh, nail polish. Next one. Smells like fish. You think it's fish? Yeah, fish. Okay. Poop. Nope. Yes, poop. It's poop. Yeah, it's poop. Emma knows poop when she smells it. Lavender. Lavender? Yeah. Something gross. Cheese. Cheese? Mustard. Mustard? Mustard. Obviously mint. Okay. That smells like a mint candy, not the actual mint. Okay, now it's Sniff Detective's turn. Okay, guys, go. Chicken poop. Looks like we've got another poop smell expert. Mint. Lavender. Okay.
Nail polish remover.
Nail polish remover. Exactly.
Fish.
Fish? Okay. Fish. What do you think it is?
Mint.
Obviously.
Cheese.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Yep. Mustard. Everyone could smell mustard. So, Smell Hunters, you got all of these right. And so did Sniff Detectives. But because we're counting the first round as well, the grand winner is Smell Hunters! Good job, guys! Now here's another great question. What happens if a dog with rabies bites you? Woof, woof. Flat Earth Corner! Oh no, not again! The bite from the dog with rabies has drew me to a life of hairiness and howling. Upon every full moon, I transform into a hideous werewolf, creeping through the dark until daylight appears.
It's like totally exhausting. In ancient times, that's what some people believed. But there's no proof werewolves exist. Rabies, on the other hand, is a serious sickness. It's a virus like the chickenpox or the flu, except it affects the brain and spine.
Dogs and other animals can get rabies, and if one of them bites you, it can make you pretty sick. That's why we give our pets vaccines against rabies.
Luckily, we have medicine. So if you do get bitten, you won't turn into a werewolf.
What? Ah! Phew. I wonder what Kiona thinks that is. I wish I could speak dog so we can understand each other. Hello! What's so hard to understand? Woof, woof, woof. I love my dog. Melina has a question about how many kinds there are.
How many types of dogs are there?
He's a dog show judge, and he knows a lot about the kinds of dogs and how many we've got. Please welcome James Reynolds. Come on, Kiki. Hi, James.
Hi, Zoe.
Meet Kiona.
You can meet Roulette.
Hi, Roulette.
Kiona is a Shiba Inu,
Yeah.
and Roulette is a bloodhound. You know, we have over 600 different kinds of dogs
But why are they all so different?
because they're all for different purposes. The bloodhound is a scent hound. It hunts by smell. It's used usually to find lost people. And it has other traits that help it. For instance, lift one of the legs. See how big it is? That lets her go through trees and grass trying to find the person she's looking for. Check the skin. See how loose it is?
Yeah.
That means she isn't going to get scraped and scratched. Her skin's going to move and let her go through. But her secret part is this part. This loose skin, the cheeks and the overbrow, and the ears, when she goes forward, it directs the scent up into the nose. And so she can find anybody.
Kind of like hide and seek.
A good game of hide and seek, yes.
Hi, Alice and Andrew.
Hi.
What's your dog's name?
Our dog's name is Elsie. She's a deerhound.
This is one of my very favorite breeds of dogs, the Scottish Deerhound. It was bred in Scotland to hunt deer. Notice there's a lot of muscle there because what can she do with that?
She can run very fast.
That's right. The hindquarters are like springs. And when she runs into something lying on the ground,
She jumps.
She really likes playing with us, and I like playing with her because it's really fun, and she's really funny. If she hears something or smells something, like one ear will go up and she'll look around to see what's around her.
Hi, Arthur. What's your dog's name?
His name's Spencer. It's a cardigan corgi.
these are dogs that were bred to actually help herd animals, cows and sheep. However, if you think about the height of a cow and the height of this, you think, well, how does that make any sense? It makes sense because he will nip at the heels of the cow as he's chasing it. And so they will herd the cattle and move them along.
He's cute, he's fluffy, and sleepy.
Hi, Ryan. Hi. What's your dog's name?
Felicia.
The black co-retriever is supposed to go into the water and find ducks and geese, or on land and find a partridge or a grouse or a pheasant. They're very, very friendly. They will, however, when you're out, suddenly take off if they see a squirrel.
She never has her tongue in her mouth.
So, what's your dog's name?
It's Billy.
Billy?
It's a Pekingese.
They were bred by the royal family in ancient China, and only they were allowed to own them.
So fluffy.
Billy really seems to like you a lot. And they're supposed to have a very short nose and a very wide face. So this dog has won many prizes, along with being, as you can see, a very friendly, nice dog just to know.
You're so sweet.
You have a new friend.
Hi, Chloe.
Hi, this is Leo.
Hi, Leo.
He's a full-breed Chihuahua.
And this is what we call a toy dog. They come from the toy group of dogs, and they're meant to be companion dogs. And they're very affectionate, and I take it he is a very good pet.
Yeah. He always seems happy and always wants to play. He never loses energy.
And my dog Fiona's a Shiba Inu.
So the Shiba is very old. It's been a breed for many thousands of years.
So dogs and humans have been friends for a really long time.
Probably 30,000 years since that first person went and found a wolf cub, brought it into the human group, and then it became useful to them, and it was used for hunting or for pulling things, such as in the north, pulling the dog sled, but most importantly, as a companion.
Well, thanks, James, for helping me find stuff out.
My pleasure. It's always good to see people having fun with dogs.
Dogs are a lot of fun. I understand them a lot better now, too. Hey, that means you can answer Leah's big question. Ruff, ruff.
Do humans really understand dogs?
Well, Leah, the big answer is... yes, we can. Once we understand why dogs do the things they do, we can understand them a lot better. Just like they can understand us by how our voice sounds and how our shoes smell.
I don't need to be able to speak dog to understand what Fiona's trying to tell me.
She wants to play, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Hi, welcome to Finding Stuff Out, the show where I answer your burning questions of the day. Like...
Why does the moon follow us?
Yes, Carl, why does the moon follow us? I wondered that myself recently while I was out for a walk. Did you ever get the feeling that you were being followed? That's weird. It's you! I caught the moon following me. Why does the moon follow us? I don't know, but we're about to find out what tricks that moon is up to. And by the end of the show, I'll have the answer to your question. Here's one from Jessica.
Why is there a moon?
Why is there a moon? I don't know. I know that it's there in the sky, but I've never really thought about why. And now you've got me thinking about it a lot. Did it just show up on our doorstep one day? Like a cat? It's mind-boggling. How did something so big get there? Why is there a moon? Ah! Yay! You're going to make my head explode! To answer your question, I went to the moon. Just kidding. If I really was on the moon, my face would expand and I wouldn't be able to breathe. Hey! Hey, Rover! Are you following me too now? But seriously, I'm here today at the Canadian Space Agency in a place called the Sandbox, which is very similar to the surface of the moon. And here I am with Caroline Emmanuel Morissette, who's a lunar geologist.
Hi, Alison.
Hi. So what is the whole point of this sandbox?
Well, we can use it to practice for possible future lunar missions.
The astronauts practice down here, so they know what to do on the real moon. This is the perfect place to answer your question. Why is there a moon? Caroline says that most scientists think it's because of something called the giant impact.
The giant impact theory.
So did it involve giants like Jack and the Beanstalk swinging clubs like this?
No, it didn't.
Caroline tells me that according to the giant impact theory, billions of years ago, an asteroid as big as Mars smashed into the Earth. Parts of the Earth and parts of the asteroid shattered into pieces, then joined together to form the moon that we now see in our sky. So in all the vastness of space, there's a chocolate cupcake orbiting around the sun, minding his own business, when all of a sudden, whoosh, hey there, buddy, this is my orbit. Get your own, pal. I'm sorry, I'm out of control, I can't help it. Yes, you can. Out of all the orbits in the galaxy, you had to choose mine. Whoa! Hey, you got vanilla icing all over me. No, you got chocolate icing all over me. So the moon is made up of bits of vanilla cupcake and chocolate cupcake. Or, as an astronomer would put it, the moon is made up of bits of the Earth and bits of the asteroid that hit the Earth. Next question.
Why does the moon have bumps like that?
Yeah, why does the moon have so many bumps?
When the Earth and the moon formed,
Caroline says when the Earth and the moon were made billions of years ago, there was so much stuff floating around in space that rocks and planets were always bashing into each other. Even today, new craters get made on the moon. It happens when meteoroids, that's stone or metal debris from space, crash into it. Wow, I made my own mini crater! I wondered why those meteoroids don't hit the Earth too. Caroline tells me it's because the Earth's atmosphere is like a shield. The meteoroids burn up when they try to get in. When you see a shooting star, it's really a meteoroid burning up in the Earth's atmosphere. But the moon doesn't have an atmosphere to shield it, so it gets hit. How big can the craters be?
well, some are very large, so you could take a day to cross them in a car.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So thanks for being on my show and helping me find stuff out. It was out of this world.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure, Harrison. Thank you.
Okay, Rover, ready? Oh, good boy! Yeah! Good boy, Rover! Yeah, good job! Good boy! Yes, you are! Good boy!
Street smarts!
So, we all know that the Earth is made of, well, Earth.
And water. And what about plants? And rocks?
But what is the moon made out of? I have these kids here to help me find out.
Craters, lots of gray stuff, dirt,
White grass. I think it is made of mozzarella or Parmesan cheese. And if I were to go to the moon, I would be sitting there all day long eating cheese.
Do you think you'd get sick of the cheese?
Yes, I would.
Here's a question from Evan.
Why does the moon light at night, but not so much during the day?
Well, Evan, I found the answer on the website for NASA. They're people who explore space. This is the moon at night. It's brightly lit up. And this is it during the day. You're right, Evan. It's not so bright now. But why? I think this calls for... the experiment! The NASA article suggested this experiment. Pretend this is the sun, and this mirror is the moon. There's a lot of light, so when I put it over here, we can still see the mirror. It just doesn't stand out a lot against the bright daytime sky. But when it's night, my mirror looks bright against the dark sky. Whether it's day or night, we can see the moon because it reflects the light from the sun. The moon doesn't make any light of its own. Look, if I turn the sun off, no more shiny moon. So the moon has another disappearing trick up its sleeve, as Marissa points out.
Why sometimes the moon is full, or sometimes the moon is not full?
Marissa, that's a very challenging question, and the answer calls for... Great Challenge! Okay, contestants, let's take a look at the phases of the moon. Marissa is right. Here the moon is full. You can see all of it. But now, watch that moon start to disappear. It gets dark on one side, and it keeps getting darker a little more each night until you can only see half the moon. Eventually, you can only see a sliver of it, until it looks like a giant toenail clipping. I hope you don't leave those under your bed. Moms hate that. Well, at least mine does.
Yeah, mine hates that too.
Anyway, finally it reaches the new moon stage. That's when we can't see it at all. Then, it gradually reappears, until it's the full moon again. That's my favorite phase, could you tell?
Yeah.
And it's also my signal to start this challenge. You're gonna wear these way cool hats! Yay! Here comes the sun. Now, you are the Earth and you are the moon. Your job is to find the new moon, which is the one that disappears. Go! Marissa, the challengers are bending their brains to figure out the answer to your question. Why is the moon full sometimes and not full at other times? Team number 1 seems to be having trouble figuring it out. I guess they've got a lot on their minds. Get it?
Slower. Faster. Here, there. Can't really see the moon when it's there.
Yes, you're correct. When the moon is between the sun and the earth like that, that's when you can't see the moon as well. That's because the sun isn't shining on the side of the moon you can see. Now, the second part of the challenge is for you to find the full moon. Go.
Now?
Correct. As you see, now the earth is between the moon and the sun, and the moon is fully lit. That's because the sun is shining on the side of the moon that you can see. You guys took 1 minute and 50 seconds to complete the challenge. Here comes the sun, again. Okay, team number 2, now it's your turn. You're trying to find the new moon, which is when you can't see it. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go. Can team number 2 figure it out faster than team number 1?
There.
You're correct. As you see, the moon is between the sun and the earth, and now you can't see the moon. So now you're trying to find the full moon. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go. The clock is ticking. If they can do it on their first try, they'll win this challenge.
There.
Correct again. As you see, now the earth is between the sun and the moon, making the moon full. That was amazing. You guys did it in 17 seconds.
Yahoo! Yeah!
Congratulations. The winner of the challenge is team number 2.
Yahoo!
Thomas, you did it really fast. Why did it come so easily to you?
I knew that when all the light would be on it, it would be the full moon. And that when none of the light would be on it, it would be the new moon.
Did you learn that in school, or where did you learn?
Well, I don't remember actually.
You just knew, because you're a genius.
Kind of.
Why do people say the moon tastes like cheese?
The short answer is because they've never tasted moon rocks, which don't taste anything like cheese.
The moon made out of cheese? That would be awesome! In the 17th century, someone noticed the moon looked like green cheese. People joked around a lot about it being cheese. Apparently people are easily tricked because it caught on quite quick that the moon was made of Gouda, feta, cheddar, Swiss cheese. Unfortunately, it's none of these.
Why do wolves howl at the moon?
That's a really interesting question. Let's take a look at some wolves howling. Wolves howl a lot. They even howl in the daytime. I checked, and wolves are more active on nights when the moon is bright, since, just like with us, it helps them see. And the more active they are, the more they howl. So it's not that they are howling at the moon. It's just that when the moon is bright, they're most likely to be going out doing all the things that wolves like to do, like howling. Wolves hold their head up high when they howl, which is why if they're howling when the moon is out, it looks like they're howling at the moon. But speaking of wolves and full moons...
Does the moon turn people into werewolves?
The Flat Earth Corner! Does the moon turn people into werewolves? Well, as everyone in medieval Europe knows, duh, of course it does. I'm actually getting as hungry as a wolf. I really could use some moon cheese. Strange. That one didn't sound like my stomach. Werewolf again! People used to believe that the full moon turned people into werewolves. But the truth is, there's no such thing as werewolves, except in movies. But that doesn't mean you have to tell your little brother or sister. Speaking of weird movie ideas about the moon, check this out. The full moon is the brightest object in the night sky. So it's no wonder that it pops up in so many myths, songs, and stories. And in this old movie. People have been dreaming about going to the moon for a long time, even if they didn't get all the details right.
So that's not exactly how it happened, but it brings me to my next question, which is from Steven.
I want to know who was the first man on the moon.
Well, it definitely wasn't this guy.
Or these guys.
But there really was a first man on the moon.
The first man on the moon is on board this rocket. He went a long time ago, in 1969. 2 other astronauts are with him in the rocket. It traveled about 400,000 kilometers. That's the same distance as going around the Earth 10 times. When they got there, one of the astronauts, Neil Armstrong, became the first person to walk on the moon and talk on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Altogether, 12 people have been to the moon. They collected moon rocks and soil. And they also seem to spend a lot of time bobbing around. As Destiny has noticed,
why do we float on air when we walk on the moon?
Well, Destiny, walking on the moon feels a lot like walking on a trampoline because the moon has a lot less gravity than the Earth does. So we don't weigh as much on the moon as we do on Earth.
I was strolling on the moon one day in a merry, merry month of December.
So if you weigh about 70 pounds on Earth, like me, then you probably weigh only about 12 pounds when you're on the moon. That's the same as, like when you were a baby. That's me. I'm so cute. I wasn't so bad when I was a baby either. Anyway, this gives me a good idea for my Do Try This at Home.
Uh-oh. Do try this at home.
To get a sense of how different it would be if you were on the moon, try this. Wait, I think I can do better. Let's try that again. Now you try. Are you ready? And jump! Good. If you were like most kids, you probably jumped between 1/4 meter and 1/2 meter.
But if you were on the moon, you'd be able to jump 6 times higher. That's about 3 meters. That's higher than most ceilings. That would be pretty cool.
Note to self, don't try this at home if your house is on the moon. Now here's a question about something that happens right here on Earth.
How does the moon control the waves?
The answer is pretty amazing.
Our sun's gravity pulls on the Earth, which is why the Earth circles the sun.
I'm heavy, so I've got a lot of gravity.
Earth's gravity pulls on the moon, which is why the moon circles us.
I've got some influence of my own.
But even while the Earth is pulling on the moon also affects the Earth.
You're not the only one with pull around here.
That blue is Earth's ocean. Because Earth is always spinning, the moon is constantly pulling at different parts of it. That makes the tide or water level of the ocean higher in the parts of the Earth closest to the moon. There's also a high tide on the opposite side of the Earth, because the moon pulls harder on the Earth than on the water over there.
If you don't live near the ocean or have never been there and seen the tide come in, it's pretty amazing. Check this out.
This is the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia. It has the highest tides in the world. The difference between high and low tide here is almost 17 meters. That's the height of a 5-story building. And look, This turbine uses tides to create electricity. See the wheel turning? And some people have used the moon's tides to have fun. Like these people surfing on a tidal river in Great Britain. I say, this is jolly good. Yeah, hang 10, mate.
Well, the moon is pretty awesome. It's beautiful to look at, it's our closest neighbor, and it has a strong effect on our planet. So there's just one last thing we have to figure out, and that's the answer to the question that brought me on this lunar quest to begin with.
Why does the moon follow us?
So, Carl, your big answer is...
Distance! Remember when I said astronauts traveled 400,000 kilometers to reach the moon? Well, that is very, very far away. But these buildings are really close.
When I walk down the street, I pass the houses and trees quite quickly. But the moon is so far away that it doesn't seem like you're walking past it.
And that's why it seems like the moon follows us. Actually, the moon has some traveling of its own to do, and I'll show you that right now.
If you stay in one spot and watch long enough, you'll see that during the night, the moon appears to travel far across the sky because the Earth is turning.
See you next time for more Finding Stuff Out. Later. Try to follow me now. I would sure love to go to the moon one day. What about you guys?
Yes! Because I love cheese. I'm on the hunt for birds, but not just any birds, birds of prey, because of this question I got from Danilo.
Why do we need birds of prey?
I found out that birds of prey are birds who hunt. So, we're on the hunt for hunters. Cool. It sounds like there's a big, big bird overhead, but I'm not worried. Birds of prey don't hunt people. They hunt small animals or insects. They're actually afraid of people. What is that? Oh, gross. It's... Ugh. Okay, I'm just gonna go stay over here. I've been checking up on birds of prey. There are more than 500 species in the world. Eagles, hawks, owls, falcons, they live everywhere, from the desert to the city. They mostly hunt little animals like bunnies, mice, and snakes. They swoop out of the sky and, oh no, watch out, little bunny. That eagle got the bunny. So, Danilo, I'm not actually sure why we need birds of prey, but I'll find out for you by the end of the show. And I know exactly where to start hunting for them. I'm visiting a special summer camp. It's a camp for kids and birds of prey called Radical Raptors. Hi, Summer.
Hi, Zoe. Welcome to the summer camp.
Thanks.
This is Temple. She's a North American kestrel.
She's so cute. Kids at this camp learn how to handle and even fly birds of prey.
This is Phoenix, and she's a Harris hawk. So first, you're wearing this leather glove because her talons are very sharp, and she would scratch you. Have your hand up on an angle, and then release your hand a bit. Now get this, and this is called safety. And Jessies are used to keep a hold of the bird so that they don't fly away.
She's so soft.
Yeah. I have a question from my friend Maya.
Why are birds of prey called raptors? Summer tells me that birds of prey, just like all other birds, evolved from dinosaurs. And that some dinosaurs are called raptors. But that's not why birds of prey are called raptors. It's because the Latin word for raptor means to seize or to take by force. And
And that's exactly how they grab their prey with their powerful talons.
Would you like to fly her?
Yeah.
Turn around and go like that.
That was so cool.
So how do we get her back?
Stick your hand out like this. And then I'm just gonna grab a piece of food. Put it right there.
I have another kid question.
How do you teach birds of prey to do tricks like a dog?
Every time they fly, they get a reward of food. So when they're hungry, they'll learn to fly to your glove. And with falcons, we use a thing called a lure, which has like a little bird at the end, not a real bird, but a fake bird. And then you swing it, and that teaches them to go after their food.
Cool.
Do you want to see her chase a fake rabbit?
Sure.
Actually, you're the fake rabbit. On your marks, get set, go! And stop! That was cool.
Yeah, but I would not want to be that rabbit. I have another kid question.
Do birds have teeth?
Yeah. Do birds have teeth?
No, birds don't have teeth. But they have a really sharp beak that they use for tearing apart their meat.
How far can an eagle see?
An eagle could see for up to 3 kilometers.
Wow. That's like seeing something really small all the way across 30 football fields. Amazing. Well, no wonder you guys call this camp Radical Raptors. The raptors are radical. Thanks for having me, Summer.
Thanks for coming. Come again soon, Zoe.
Thinking about raptor camp, I realized that all the birds of prey that we met had 3 things in common. Strong talons, great eyesight, and sharp beaks. I wonder what it would be like if we were birds of prey.
Talons, beaks, and eyes, that's how we do it. Talons, beaks, and eyes, that's all there is to it. Our eyes are sharp as sharp can be. We see a fish jump into the sea. We spot a snake, a mouse, or a rabbit, then dive down from the sky and grab it. Talons, beaks, and eyes, that's how we get ya. Talons, beaks, and eyes, that's how we roll, you betcha. Our beaks are sharp, our talons strong. We spy our prey as we fly along. We swoop down fast, and then we nab it with our talons, beaks, and eyes.
Whew, what a ride. It's so much fun being a bird of prey. The only problem is deciding what you want to be.
Ask a friend.
Hey guys, if you are a bird of prey, which one would you like to be?
I would probably be a falcon because they're very fast and I like speed and I like the breeze when you're fast and then the wind is just in your face.
An owl because I could stay up all night.
Eagle because they're huge, they could fly a long way, and, well, they're really beautiful.
I'd like to be an owl because they're hard to spot up in trees, so they'd be good secret agents.
Falcon because I'd really like to try diving.
I'd like to be one because they have sharp talons and they're also able to eat snakes.
What? You want to eat a snake?
I never ate one, but I'm sure they'll taste good. They're like spaghetti.
One thing birds of prey do really well is fly. My friends Kenya and William know how to make paper airplanes that fly a bit like them. Hi, Kenya and William.
Hi, Zoe. Hi, Zoe.
So what kind of paper airplanes can you make?
I'm doing a falcon.
And I'm doing a hawk.
Kenya's falcon glider is slim and pointy. And William's hawk glider is more flat and square.
My falcon's gonna go straight and fast.
My hawk is gonna glide slowly.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's test these out. Swift like a falcon. Glides like a hawk. Those paper airplanes flew just like birds of prey. But what is this mysterious slimy thing that fell from the sky? Oh, I need to ask an expert. If you need to know about birds, ask someone who can see them. My friend Jennifer Sear Devine from the Eco Museum. Hey, Zweep. I see you brought Jennifer along with you.
Hi. So exactly what is this?
I'm not really sure. I was hoping you would know.
Well, it kind of looks familiar. Come on. Dweep was actually really excited to see you again, and look, he's brought you a present.
What's this?
It's actually a regurgitated pellet.
You mean he threw it up?
Sort of.
Harrison has a question about that.
I heard that birds of prey throw up a lot. Is that true?
Well, they can, but birds of prey also do what's called regurgitating a pellet. So when they eat something like a mouse, they actually eat everything. And inside their stomach, they can't necessarily digest everything. So everything that can't be digested becomes this pellet, this ball, and that ball gets regurgitated, so it's thrown back up.
So he doesn't really throw up?
And not quite. What's actually really interesting is when you look inside a pellet, you can actually figure out what the bird of prey ate. So I've got a little challenge for you here. At the Eco Museum Zoo, we feed our birds with mice, and we feed our birds of prey with birds, chicks. So I'm gonna give you a challenge. I'm gonna ask you to try to dissect this pellet and figure out exactly what Dweep over here had for lunch yesterday.
Okay.
I'm gonna start spraying it, and as I'm spraying it, you're gonna try to dissect, pull apart all the little pieces of the pellet. At first, it might seem a little bit hard, but as the pellet gets more water on it, it gets a little softer, and then it becomes easier to pull apart.
Oh yeah, it is getting easier. Yeah, there's bones in here.
Everything that the birds of prey can't digest, exactly like bones, you can find in a regurgitated pellet. Sometimes it's feathers. Sometimes it might be fur. Sometimes it might be scales, claws, teeth. So everything that's really, really hard.
Here's a bone.
Excellent. So what we do is we usually work with a sheet to try to figure out what part of the body of the animal that the bird ate that it belongs to. Try to find a picture of a bone that's just like that one, long and straight.
What about this one?
Very good. That long, straight bone, part of the leg.
Definitely a chick.
Very good. Great detective work.
Thank you. Whoa, Zweep, you scared me. Flat Earth Corner! In ancient Greece, people thought owls were a sign of good fortune. They even put pictures of owls on money. On one side, an owl, and on the other, it's Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom. Athena and her little owl were inseparable. That could be why ancient Greeks thought owls were wise. We Romans know better. We know that owls are omens of disaster. A hoot from an owl indicates imminent death.
Nah, the ancient Romans had it all wrong. We old-timey witches keep our owls as helpers. Our owls spy around town and tell us witches what's going on. Some people think owls are wise and mysterious. Maybe it's because of their big wise eyes. Who knows? Get it? Who knows? Yeah? Okay, next question. Do some birds of prey eat dead food? Good question. I checked, and this is what I found. Vultures are raptors, but some people don't consider them true birds of prey because they don't really hunt for food. They eat dead animals. They can smell a dead animal carcass from 2 kilometers away. Dead meat decomposes fast, so that helps the vulture eat their food. Yum. Vultures don't have sharp talons, but they have super strong beaks, and their heads are bald. That's so when they eat rotting carcasses, no bacteria or parasites can get into their feathers and make them sick. Turkey vultures could fly away when they're frightened, but they use another weapon if they're attacked. They vomit. The rotten meal and stomach acids really stink. predators are so grossed out that they leave the vultures alone. Now that is disgusting. Almost as disgusting as that thing. So let's just not look at it because it's time for...
My Great Challenge! We have Danny Lo and Alice on Team Eagle and Michelle and Arvin on Team Hawk. Are you ready to be birds of prey? Okay, challengers, time to get hunting. Okay, Team Eagle, go!
One team member makes the other one fly on a swing. They have to catch as much prey as possible with their special talents, then drop the prey into the nest. Anything that lands outside the nest doesn't count. Whoops, they missed that one.
Okay, no more prey. 7 out of 9.
Good job.
Okay, Team Hawk, go!
Team Hawk is going to get hungry if they can't catch any prey. There's one. They're getting the hang of it.
Keep going, guys! Okay, time's up. Michelle, you were pretty good. You caught 8 prey, but only 4 went in the basket. Well, at least you have next round. And go!
This is Team Eagle's chance to build on their lead. Missed that one. Team Eagle struggling in round 2.
Okay, time's up. You guys got 8 prey, but only 4 went in the basket. So 7 plus 4 equals 11. Good job. You still have a chance to win. Go!
Can Team Hawk come up from behind to pull off a win? 2 in 1 shot. Nice.
You got this!
Another 2 in 1. What a comeback.
Good job, guys. Keep going.
Catching that prey like pros. Team Eagle's lead is shrinking.
Keep going.
Only a few left. They need to catch them all. Oh, missed the nest. They're catching up. It's going to be a close one.
Okay, that was the last one. Team Eagle, you have 11. And Team Hawk, you had 4. But this round, you got 7, which means you have 11 too. It's a tie. Yay! Good job, guys. Good
Uh-oh, do try this at home. Today's Do Try This at Home is imitating birds.
Zhuip? Oh, Jennifer, it's you.
Hi, yeah.
What's the trick?
Well, actually, to sound like an owl, you need a little bit of practice, but basically you pucker up your lips a little bit, you puff out your cheeks, and you try to hoot. So I was just doing a barred owl, and they kind of sing, "Who cooks for you?" Very good. You're a natural at this.
Try it.
I know of a barn owl, and when they sing, they kind of make a screeching sound. And they also do a bit of a woo. Sounds almost like a ghost. My personal favorite, it's an eastern screech owl. And they're about this big, and they sound like a horse whinnying. Very good.
Wow, thanks, Jennifer. I'm starting to love birds of prey. Even though they eat mice and bunnies, they're not being mean.
No, you're right. It's actually a question of survival. They have to hunt in order to eat.
Mm-hmm. My friend Ruby was wondering.
Are any birds of prey endangered?
Good question. Let me see. I found out that raptors face a lot of danger. They're threatened by things like the weather, accidents, volcanoes, lightning, and disease. Then there are dangers caused by humans like pesticides, electric power lines, hunting, and egg collecting.
My friends at Raptor Camp know a lot about this and what we can do to help.
The number one reason birds of prey are endangered is because of habitat loss. When you chop down the forest trees, they lose their homes.
Spotted owls are actually dying off.
Stop spraying harmful pesticides on the forest or anywhere.
A really big one would be to stop throwing garbage out your car window because that attracts mice, and the birds come to eat the mice, and then they get hit by a car.
Together, we can protect these amazing creatures so they will always be around. Michael has a really good question about that.
What would happen if we didn't have birds of prey?
Well, for one thing, we would have a lot of mice. How fast can mice multiply? Start with 2 baby mice, a male and a female. At 6 weeks, the female can become pregnant. 8 baby mice are born after 3 weeks only. The female can become pregnant immediately after giving birth. Her 8 baby mice start having their own babies after 6 weeks. Same with their babies, and so on, and on, and on, and on, and on, and on! What? That can't be!
You're gonna make my head explode!
In 1 year only, just 2 mice could have 131,258 descendants. Now imagine millions of mice. And that's not even counting all the other creatures birds of prey wouldn't catch. Why, they take over the world. Hey, I think that's the answer to today's big question.
Why do we need birds of prey?
The big answer is to keep nature in balance. Birds of prey make sure mice don't take over the world. That's the big answer. Ta-da! But what is this big, gross thing? It looks familiar, like an owl pellet. A huge one. Maybe it's a dinosaur pellet. Well, I know what to do with the pellet. Look inside. Oh, gross, gross. Oh, I've got something. Bones? Could this really be a dinosaur pellet? Some dinosaurs did make pellets, but who regurgitated this one? Okay, you've caught me. I built this big pellet to see if it would help us find stuff out. And it worked. See you next time for more Finding Stuff Out.
I'm really excited to do my show today, and not just because Mr. Whiskers decided to join me. He's super excited too. I'm excited because today we're answering your questions about communication, and not just this kind. Or that kind, but all kinds. So let's take a look at question number 1. It's from Leela.
Can a horse and a pig communicate?
What do you think, Mr. Whiskers? He'll get back to you on that. In the meantime, I think I have the answer to your question. I went over to my friend's farm last week and filmed the horses and the pigs. Okay, there are the horses and there are the pigs. And it doesn't look like there's any communicating going on between them. Wait a minute. The horse just looked over at the pigs. I'm not sure. But I'm not giving up yet. Sometimes if you can't find the answer to a question, it's better to ask more questions. So, Leela, by the end of the show, I'll have the answer to your question. Speaking of questions, here's another one.
Why do dogs go woof woof?
Now, I don't have a dog, mostly because Mr. Whiskers here is afraid of them. But I do have an answer to your question, Hanifa, and it's pretty cool. So this is my cousin's dog, Clyde. Mr. Whiskers doesn't like him at all. I found out that when dogs bark, they're not just making noise, they're actually communicating. That means this dog is saying something right now. Do you know what it is? Maybe Ralph or Rolf? Roast, maybe. Is it possible that he's asking for a roast? Oh, sorry, Mr. Whiskers. Here, you can leave. Here's the cool thing. Some scientists in Hungary have figured out that when dogs bark, they're telling us how they feel. And there are different barks for different feelings, like this is the play bark.
That's the bark a dog makes when he's playing fun doggy games, like tug of war or wrestling. Okay, now this is the stranger bark. That's the bark a dog makes when there's a stranger at the door. And here's another kind of dog doing the stranger bark.
There are so many different breeds of dogs, but they all have the same way of communicating with us.
Now, if you knew what the play bark and the stranger bark meant before I told you, you're not alone. People and dogs have a special relationship, and scientists have discovered that people can tell the difference between dog barks, even people without dogs.
How? Adaptation.
Dogs have been our companions for thousands of years, and scientists think their different barks changed over time to sound a lot alike, at least in tone, so that they can communicate with us. These dogs might look different, but they seem to be saying the same thing.
So if dogs bark to communicate with us, let's find out how well you understand them.
Uh-oh. Do try this at home.
Okay, I'm going to play 3 different types of barks for you. The first one is the food bark. That's what a dog barks like when he's hungry. Next is the alone bark. The alone bark is when a dog is tied to a tree and away from his owner. Last is the fight bark, which is when a dog is angry and or vicious. Now we have the 3 barks up here, and you have to guess which one I'm playing. And I'm not going to play them in order. Or am I? Okay, first one. Do you think that dog is hungry, feeling alone, or ready to fight? Ready for the answer? I have a drum roll. Hang on. It'll be easier if I just do it myself. And the answer is alone. Congratulations if you got it right. If not, you still have 2 more chances. Okay, so I'm going to play the last 2 barks one after another. Which one's food? Which one's fight? And the answer is food, then fight. If you got all 3 right, then congratulations. You're like an official dog whisperer. But if you didn't, don't worry about it. I'm sure dogs don't understand what you're saying either. How could they? I mean, we have so many words, and they only have 1. Woof. But I guess it's not just what you say, but how you say it. For example, if I say drum solo, I'm asking a question. But if I say drum solo, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Same words, but when I change the tone, it changes the meaning. It's a part of how we communicate too, and how dogs communicate, even though they don't use words. Hey, and that's the doorbell communicating with me. It's telling me my guest is here, but this time he's 5 inches tall and he's gonna answer a question about communication. This one's from Taya. Coming!
Why do parrots copy us when we talk?
So I'm here with Eliza and Aaron and their macaw, Coco. So why do parrots copy us when we talk? Why do parrots copy us when we talk?
They are able to mimic sound. Birds in the wild will mimic other songs, and parrots, when they live with us, try and mimic the sounds in their environment. So some birds will mimic sounds that they hear, like the telephone or trucks backing up in the alleyway. Many parrots will try and mimic human speech because they live with human beings.
I've heard of parrots that imitate ringtones on phones and doorbells and stuff. Does Coco do that at all, or?
He doesn't do that. His species doesn't particularly copy those types of sounds, but there are other species of parrots, for example, African greys or other birds that like those very high-pitched sounds.
Parrots live in groups, and they use sound to communicate with each other. But if there are no other parrots around for a parrot to talk to, then it will imitate whatever is nearby, like people.
So can Coco say any words at all, or?
Coco has a vocabulary. He speaks in English and in French. Erin, do you want to try and get him to say something?
Hello, Coco. Hello. Hello, Coco. So, does Coco really know what he's saying?
Well, Coco will answer you if you ask him a specific question in a specific circumstance. So, for example, if I'm in one room of the house and I call Erin in another room of the house, he'll tell me to stop yelling because he doesn't like it when you raise your voice. If he wants to go to bed, he'll say, I want to go in my cage. And sometimes he'll say things like, if you ask him if he wants to eat something in particular that he really does want to eat, he'll say, yes, I do. And so they will respond and mimic and answer sometimes what you ask them with a set answer that they already know will give a desired result. But you never know exactly what he's going to say, and he'll say things only when he wants to.
So what's an example of a circumstance where Coco will talk?
Well, Coco likes going into drawers, and sometimes if he's in the right mood and he feels like going into one, he'll yell out, it's a drawer, several times.
In a really loud voice.
In a very loud voice.
It's a drawer.
He's like, yeah, that's me. I say it's a drawer. Okay, well, I have a drawer right over here, so we can try it out then, right?
Okay, let's try it. Oh, look. Want to go in the drawer?
It's a drawer.
Come on,
Coco. I think I heard him. He said it's a drawer. Thank you for being on my show, and thank you, Coco. I couldn't have said it better myself. Now here's a question from Omarion.
Why do some people speak in other languages?
Well, Omarion, I have no idea. So why don't we start out by finding out how many languages are there? Let's see, there's English, French, Spanish, German, Danish, Greek, Chinese, Lebanese, Croatian, Japanese, Egyptian, Italian, Ojibwe, Polish, Portuguese, Russian, Korean, Romanian, Yiddish, Dutch. Ah!
Yay! You're gonna make my head explode!
It looks like there are around 6,900 languages being used on Earth right now. 6,900? That's more languages than there are countries in the world. Where did all these languages come from?
A long time ago, very far away, prehistoric people might have talked the same. They went their separate ways, and the words they spoke started to change. So mata, mater, madre, mir, all mean mother, that lady who cares. Pater, pater, peer, padre, all mean father, no matter what you say. People walk their walk, and they talk their talk. That's why there's so many languages spoken in this world today.
Check out this language question from Ashton.
What was the first language on Earth?
So it turns out finding the answer was pretty easy. Scientists think the first language on Earth was some sort of basic sign language. This is how I imagine it.
Apparently, back then, people could only kind of grunt. Which isn't really a great way to communicate. So they probably pointed and made up signs for things they couldn't talk about.
Now it's time for...
My Great Challenge!
Hello, contestants. Are you ready for My Great Challenge?
Yeah!
Okay, you guys are gonna be team number 1 and you're team number 2. Today, the challenge is to communicate like early humans without any talking, which is very similar to charades. So team number 2, please leave the room. Team number 1, get ready to play. So Michael, here's the sentence that you will have to act out.
The sentence I gave Michael says, your socks are on fire.
Got it? So Fabiana, you have 2 minutes to guess what he is acting out. Go.
Your feet are on fire?
You're very close. Guess, guess.
Your feet are burning?
Keep guessing, come on.
Your socks are on fire.
That's right, you got it.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You almost got it right away. You were really close. How did you know that it was fire?
Because when he lifted up his pants, like up until here, I saw him waving his socks, so I just knew it like that.
Why do you think it would be hard if there was no language back then, if you had to act everything out like you just did?
Well, because it would take a long time to guess what I was doing.
Do you think you'd get good at it eventually?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think you did?
Good.
Good?
Great.
Great. Okay, Talia, here's the line that you'll be acting out.
Team number 2 has the same sentence. The sentence is, your socks are on fire.
Got it? Okay, and you'll be guessing what she's acting out. Are you ready? Okay, go.
You're, I don't know what she's doing though. Okay, you're putting on a sock. You're...
Keep acting it out.
Taking off your sock out. You're washing your sock.
Getting closer.
You're drying your sock. It's hot.
Getting very close.
It's on fire.
Yeah, so?
Her sock's on fire.
You got it. Awesome. So, Talia, what did you think was the hardest thing about acting it out?
The fire part.
Why did you think the fire part was the hardest?
There's not a lot of fire, like, stuff.
So, and what was the easiest part?
The sock.
The sock? Why was the sock so easy to act out?
You just put a sock on your foot.
Or pretend to, yeah?
Yeah.
So, Jessica, what was the hardest part of trying to guess what Talia was acting out?
Like she said, the fire part, because there wasn't like much movements that she did for the fire, so it was kind of hard to guess.
How did you finally know that it was fire that she was acting out?
Because she like kind of like blew in her hands like it was hot, or like after she put her sock on, she like kind of like said it was like on fire, and she like kind of backed up and like, yeah.
Okay, the winner is team number 1.
Yeah!
You guys did it twice as fast as team number 2. Okay. Ancient communication is way too difficult. What I was trying to say is, thanks for playing my great challenge. Congratulations. That was awesome. Speaking of speaking with your hands,
there are jobs where people use special signals to communicate. Here's how a sailor sends a message from his ship to another ship. How a baseball catcher sends a secret message to the pitcher. And people who are hearing impaired have figured out how to talk to each other with their hands. It's called sign language.
Let's take another question.
This one's from Juliana.
Can you do sign language with animals?
I thought the answer to Juliana's
question would be no, but you wouldn't believe what I found out.
And if you have a pet monkey, tell him to come watch this too. Since the 70s, scientists have been teaching chimpanzees some human-style sign language, and it turns out they can learn a lot of words.
And over at the aquarium, they have trainers that know how to communicate with dolphins and whales. Let's check it out. So here I am with Nicole Can.
Hey, Harrison.
Hi. So can you tell me the different ways that fish and underwater mammals communicate?
Well, these belugas eat a lot of a fish called herring. And herring is a fish that has a very interesting way of communicating. They make distinct pulse-like sounds in their guts that are way too low for us to hear.
By their guts, you mean?
Yeah, I mean farting.
Gross. Well, I just communicated myself.
Oh, gross, Harrison.
But how do these guys communicate?
Well, beluga whales are capable of making a lot of different sounds. In fact, early Arctic explorers used to call them the canaries of the sea due to all of the different types of sounds they can make. And we know they use those sounds to communicate with each other, but we're not entirely sure how yet.
Nobody knows exactly what whales are saying to each other with their calls, but we do know some amazing things about them. It's believed that some whales can send their sounds to other whales halfway around the world. And humpback whales, like these ones, sing slightly different songs depending on where in the world they live. It's like each group has its own language.
So how do you communicate with dolphins?
You use sign language.
What do you mean by sign language?
It's a form of communication that we've come up with the dolphins. Everything we do with our hands means something different to them.
Okay, so can you show me a couple?
Sure. If you wanted to ask the dolphins to make noise or to vocalize, wiggle your fingers like you're conducting a choir. Do, 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 do. Perfect. And then if you wanted to ask them to swim really fast, what we call a speed swim, take your hand and go, go.
Go. Like that?
Yeah.
Go.
That's perfect.
So I can make a dolphin swim fast now?
You could ask them to swim really fast.
Okay. And what about like something awesome, like a backflip?
A backflip, it's actually a really small hand signal. Just your 2 fingers up and down.
Just by saying that, it's telling them to do a backflip.
Yep.
That's crazy. What else? Can they like wave or anything?
Well, if you wave your hands at them, they'll wave back.
They're so smart.
They are very smart.
So how do you say goodbye?
Like this.
Okay. Goodbye. Bye. I gotta teach some of these to my goldfish. Bad news. Mr. Whiskers ate my goldfish. Just kidding. But here's another question. This one's from Laura.
Can animals talk to each other?
So here's how I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna show Mr. Whiskers here different animals saying stuff, and we'll see if he talks back. Hey, Mr. Whiskers. Anyway, I think it would be easier just to search and see animals communicating with each other. Animals communicating with each other. Aha! We have a hit.
In Yellowstone National Park, scientists found another example of how different animals can communicate with each other. Ravens have learned a very clever trick. When they spot elk, they fly off to alert the wolves. Then, they lead the hungry wolves toward the elk. When the wolves have moved in for the kill and had their fill, the ravens swoop in and snack on the leftovers. That also answers the first question we started off with. Here it is again.
Can a horse and a pig communicate?
And the big answer is... maybe!
I found out that horses can interpret the body language of other creatures, and pigs are supposed to be way more clever than dogs. So if they really needed to, a horse and a pig might develop some kind of communication, like the ravens and wolves at Yellowstone. But so far, they don't seem to have much use for each other.
I'm glad we got to the bottom of that one. Modern science can rest a little easier tonight. Thanks for sending in all your questions and for watching Finding Stuff Out. Mr. Whiskers, cue.
This smells bad. This smells good. It's mine. I can totally tell the difference, but my dad never knows when his hockey socks stink. It made me wonder the same thing as Mohammed.
Do bigger noses smell more things?
Well, Mohammed, I don't know if bigger noses are the better smellers. If they were, maybe we'd use elephants instead of dogs to track people by smell. So I don't have the answer yet, but I'm sure I can find out if I get nosy and sniff around. My dad's nose is bigger than mine, but he can't smell the stink. I'll get to the bottom of it by the end of the show. But first, Leah has a question that takes us back to the basics.
How do we smell things?
Well, Leah, We're gonna have to go way up your nostrils to get the answer for that. All the way up our nostrils, there's an area at the top of the nose called the olfactory epithelium. It's just a fancy word for smelling machine. That smelling machine is jam-packed with millions of special receptors that pick up smells that travel through the air. The receptors send a message to our brain, and that's how we recognize a smell. Speaking of funky smells, here's a question from Soham.
Why do feet get stinky? Yuck.
Just so you know, Soham, my feet do not get stinky.
At least, I don't think so.
I checked, and it turns out there's bacteria living between our toes. But don't worry, they're not the dangerous kind. They like dark, warm, damp places like our feet, and they munch on dead skin and sweat. It's the bacteria's farts that cause the stink. Excuse me. Sometimes it smells like rotten eggs. Nasty. And sometimes it smells like stinky cheese. P.U. How about making something that smells a lot better? The experiment! Hi, Cecilia and Arvin.
Hi.
You are scratch and sniff experts, right? Show me your method.
First, you take your 4 gelatin powders.
Strawberry, blueberry, orange, and lime.
You put the gelatin powder in your bowl.
Then we put the water.
1 scoop of water.
Yeah.
And then you put the glue in.
Mix it all together. You have to make sure that you have a little cup, and you're gonna trace it with a white crayon. The wax of the crayon keeps the mix from spreading.
You can wait for it to dry.
It only takes a few hours. It's all dry. Thanks, guys. Bye. Bye, Zoe.
Bye.
Now, here's a not-so-sweet smelling question from Maddie.
How do you know if you have bad breath?
Does my breath smell bad? Does it make you kind of sad? Will you tell me if my mouth has a real bad sting? Just can't go if it's pepperoni pizza, I think. Come on, guys. Let me know. Is it bad? Is it like, whoa? Do I totally reek? I just can't tell. So help me out and tell me if I smell. Asking people around if your breath smells bad is kind of embarrassing. But Maddie, I have an answer for you. Uh-oh, do try this at home. Lick your wrist, then let it dry a bit. That'll tell you how the tip of your tongue smells. Not bad. Then try the back of your tongue with an upside-down spoon, but rub it gently. If the gunk is dark and thick, it most likely means your breath smells bad. So far, so good. A piece of floss through your back teeth is another good way to tell if your breath smells bad. Still fine. Danielle has a question about eating and smelling.
Does food taste the same if you can't smell it?
Hey, I know someone who's an expert on the sense of smell. And guess what? She can't smell anything.
Hey, Zoe.
Hi, Rachel.
Come on in.
Thank you.
So this is my son, Lyndon.
Hi, Lyndon. Rachel, I think it's time for a diaper change.
Oh, why, well, thank you so much for letting me know.
You're welcome. So, when did you realize you didn't have a sense of smell?
Actually around, maybe I was a little bit older than Lyndon is now. I would often get way too close to my brother's diapers. I'd always ask my mom, is that chocolate in there? And I guess after that, it was a good idea to keep me away from diapers. So I have some veggies here for us.
So you never smelled anything in your life?
Nope, not a single thing. Actually, until I was around 10 or 12, I thought that everyone was playing a joke on me. And it wasn't until one of the boys in class told me, hey, you smell bad. From then on, I realized that smell is a real thing, and it can certainly impact the people around you. Oh, you know what? I've been baking us some bread. I've always been told that fresh baked bread is one of the best smells, and even though I can't smell it, I still love to eat it. It's pretty hot.
Fresh baked bread. It's my favorite smell.
Oh, good.
I asked some of my friends what their favorite smells are.
Pancakes. It's my mom's curry.
Orange.
Chocolate.
Watermelon.
Caramel.
Pizza.
Flowers.
Vanilla cake. Lavender.
I love the smell of books.
And what's your least favorite smells?
Cigarettes. Ugh. Some air fresheners don't smell fresh. Yuck. Skunk.
Cow poop. Oh, that's disgusting.
If someone pukes, I probably will puke after.
Rotten anything. My dog's number 2.
My father's gas.
Thanks, guys. Oh, wait, I have another question.
Is it dangerous if you can't smell?
For sure. I'm never gonna be able to smell if there's smoke or a fire nearby. I won't smell any gas leaks.
And is there any advantages of not being able to smell?
I actually think there are way more advantages than disadvantages. And you know what? I have a really good example. This is my husband's hockey gear. Why don't you get close and take a whiff of it?
Just like my dad's stinky hockey socks.
Doesn't affect me at all. This is definitely one of those advantages I was talking about.
Here, Rachel, try this.
Thanks, Zoe.
How does it taste?
It just kind of tastes crunchy to me, to be honest. For me, taste is mostly textures and colors. Actually, have you ever been sick before with a really stuffy nose?
Mm-hmm.
And how does food taste to you when you're all sick?
Well, when my nose is blocked, it doesn't really have a lot of flavor.
Well, that's actually because about 75% of everything we taste is reliant on our sense of smell.
Wow.
If the smell of the food can't reach the receptors in our nose, or they don't work right, our brain doesn't get signaled, and everything we eat will taste nearly the same. So for me, it's kind of like I'm always sick with a stuffy nose.
It's like our nose and tongue work together to make them super tasty.
Exactly, yeah.
The experiment! I'm going to test how food tastes when I'm smelling something different. Like stinky cheese. I asked my dad to prepare 3 little dishes of mystery food, and I'm going to eat it, and guess what it is? First one. Sweet potato? Aw, I was wrong. Pumpkin? Nah, I was wrong. It's turkey. Last one. I'm going to guess maybe apple? 1 out of 3, right? Well, I guess I answered Danielle's question. If you can't smell food or smell one thing while eating another thing, it just won't taste the same. Here's another nosy question from Marina.
How do animals with no noses smell?
No nose? No nose? No nose at all? Ow. But seriously, super question. I found out that crabs have smell-sensitive hairs on their antennae between their eyes. Smells fishy. Check out how butterflies smell. They have 6 feet and they smell with them. Their antennae also pick up smells that lead them to flowers with nectar. When they land on the flower, their feet tell them if it's edible or poisonous. Edible! And all those suction cups on octopus arms, they use them for smelling too. And here's a question from Ryan about a twitching animal nose.
Why do rabbits twitch their nose?
She's a zoologist who knows animal noses. She brought a rabbit to my show to show his. Please welcome Jennifer Sear Devine. Hi, Jennifer. You brought me a rabbit.
His name's Vegas. He's a 2-year-old domesticated rabbit.
Well, I bet I know what his favorite dance style is.
Oh.
Hip-hop.
Very cute.
Look at his nose twitch. Why does he do that?
Well, in short, it's actually to help him smell better. You see, the sense of smell for rabbits is incredibly important to their survival. Inside those nostrils, in the nasal cavity, you have about 100 million smell receptors that help capture the odor from the air.
Is that more than we have?
Way more than humans have. In fact, some scientists say it's up to 20 times more than what humans have.
Wow. So when he twitches, more smell comes in?
That's right. Every time the rabbit twitches its nose, more air is coming into the nasal cavities, and therefore the receptors at the back capture the odors off of that greater amount of air. So the rabbit is basically able to pick up smells that humans can't possibly pick up on.
So he probably smells its carrot, even though I haven't put it in front of his face?
Oh, absolutely. He smelled that a long way off. And what's really interesting is rabbits don't just use their sense of smell to find food. They also use it to know if there's a predator around or to know if there's danger, like a forest fire. What's really cute, if you want to try it, twitch your nose at the rabbit, because every time you twitch your nose at the rabbit, it actually will twitch its nose right back at you.
Well, thanks for helping me find stuff out. You don't happen to have an elephant by any chance, no?
Nope, sorry.
Okay, I'm asking because of Nayla's question.
Oh.
Why do elephants have a long nose?
I found out that elephants do have a great sense of smell. But the reason their noses are so big is because elephants are so big. Their gigantic legs and heads make it kind of hard for elephants to bend down for food on the ground or to reach food in trees. Their long nose lets them get at food a lot more easily. An elephant's nose can lift up to 350 kilograms. That's like lifting about 8 toilets. Ta-da! Or 4 kangaroos. Da-da-da! Pretty impressive. At the end of their nose, some elephants have parts that are kind of like fingers that they can use to grab small objects. And because their nose is long and flexible, it can sniff things out without the elephant even moving its head. Plus, they suck up water with their nose and squirt it into their mouths. And that gives me an idea for...
My Great Challenge!
Okay, for my great challenge, we have Leah, who's Elephant Stomper, and Max, who's Elephant Chomper. You guys are gonna use your elephant noses to do elephant things. After that, you have to trumpet as fast as you can, because the first elephant to trumpet wins. On your marks, get set, go! First challengers have to pick up 2 bundles of branches. Next, 20 peanuts. By the way, real elephants aren't into peanuts. They're way too tiny to satisfy their huge appetites. Keep going! But picking up peanuts is a tricky challenge. Stomper is in the lead with her peanuts. She's done, and now she has to pick 5 hanging bananas. Go, 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 pick! Chopper only has a few peanuts left. He got them! Chomper's catching up. Stomper has all her bananas, and Chomper is still behind. Stomper is now at the drinking station. That's the last stop. Challengers have to suck up all the water in the bowl and squirt it out. Here comes Chomper. Can he catch up? Remember, first one to trumpet wins. We have a winner. And now, here's a question from Aaron about an animal that smells underwater.
How do sharks smell underwater?
I found out that smell is so important to sharks that they're actually called swimming noses. A shark can smell 1 drop of blood in 1,000,000 parts of water. That's like being able to smell a single teaspoon of juice in a swimming pool. What?
You're gonna make my head explode!
It seems unbelievable, but it's true. Sharks actually suck in water to take a sniff. The water touches a bunch of sensitive smell receptors inside the nostrils, and they send a message to the brain. Over half their brain is made up of smell detectors. I wouldn't want to have a nosebleed around the swimming nose.
speaking of nosebleeds.
How do you stop a nosebleed?
Flat Earth Corner! Ah yes, the nosebleed. Here in ancient Rome, we have found the solution. Rub your limbs with sheep wool. But if this doesn't help, you can stuff your nostrils with burnt up ashes from tadpoles. That's pretty wild. Hundreds of years later, it was still kind of weird. A toad worn around your neck will stop the bleeding swiftly. What's that you say? You want a more modern way? No problem. Simply drop a key on a string down your back. Ah, the marvels of modern medicine. So weird. Today, we know you have to. Tilt your head down a bit so the blood won't go down your throat, and then pinch just under the bony part for 5 minutes. If it just won't stop, get help.
How could some people smell things better than others can?
I checked, and it's mainly because of our genes. No, not the ones we wear. The genes in our bodies are the things that make us who we are, and every person has their own special combination of smelling genes. Some people can pick up certain smells that others can't. And some people have such good senses of smell that their job is to make perfume. Or smell bad odors to help companies make things like deodorant. In some Chinese medicine, they even use professional fart smellers to help detect sickness. Ooh, very healthy. I want to test my sense of smell. Jennifer agreed to a face-off to see whose nose is more sensitive.
I think I'm ready.
We're using this cool little gadget called the nasal ranger. It's used to measure the smell from places like landfills and figure out if the stink is too strong.
You can actually see here the filters that allow the air in and out. And this is a little dial that helps determine how much odor is actually coming in. So depending on that dial, it'll determine whether you have a better nose or whether I have a better nose.
I'll start with the cow manure first. We all smell things differently because there are close to 1 million different combinations of smelling genes. Don't smell anything yet. Plus, smell is connected to our memories, emotions, and taste. Ooh, I'm starting to smell it. Some people like certain smells that other people can't stand.
Oh, I think I smell something.
This is gonna be gross. But am I picking up the smell of manure and rotten food faster than Jennifer? Oh! We both agree they stink.
Woo, it smells like under my kitchen sink. Yep.
We're finishing our experiment with a sweet smell. Ooh!
Oh, there we go. I got it. I like that smell much better.
Much better than those ones. Well, the results are in. I outsmelled ya.
Oh, that stinks.
And my nose is smaller than yours.
You're right.
I think I'm ready to answer the question that started off today's show.
Do bigger noses smell more things?
Well, Mohammed, the big answer is... size doesn't matter. It mostly depends on how many smell receptors we and animals have, and how our brain deals with the information it gets from our nose. A rabbit's nose is much smaller than a human nose, but it has millions more smell receptors and can smell more things. Dogs are also great smellers, which is why we use them to sniff out dangerous things. Some animals, like butterflies, don't even have a nose, but thanks to the smell receptors on their feet, they can tell what flowers are poisonous. Plus, we all have our own unique combination of genes that make up our smelling machine. My nose is smaller than Jennifer's and my dad's, but I proved it's more sensitive. Oh. Dad, start the washing machine!
Hi, welcome to Finding Stuff Out. The show is simple. You ask, I find out. It's not rocket science, unless you ask a question about rockets. Then it is. Here's today's first question. It's from Joy.
How come weather just changes to other weather, like first it's hot, then it's cold?
Yeah, what gives? Weather's always changing and I don't know why. But by the end of the show, I'll have the answer to your question. Along the way though, there'll be tornadoes, snow, hail, and if my dad doesn't fix the washing machine soon, maybe even a flood. I'm going to start the investigation with the question from Hanifa.
How could the sun be out in winter when it's cold?
Yeah, come on, son. Either you're hot or you're not. Pick a side. Pretend this light bulb is the sun. Now, lucky for you guys, I did some research on the subject. Now pretend this is the Earth, us. The Earth orbits around the sun. The sun feels hotter in the summer because the part of the Earth you live on is tilted toward the sun. 6 months later, when the Earth has moved around to the other part of the sun, the part you live on is tilted away from the sun. So we can still see it, but we're not getting the full effects of the sun's rays. So it's not as hot. Next question.
How many kinds of snowflakes are there?
How many different ones? Let's see. They say no two snowflakes are alike. And they're only this big. I wonder how many fit in a teaspoon. Must be hundreds. But when it snows, there's so many of these, you need a shovel to clear a path. That must be millions. And then you need a snowplow to clear your streets. There must be billions, or trillions, or bajillions, or gazillions, or whatever they call a number that high, and... You're gonna make my head explode! I don't know if bajillion's a number, but there must be a bajillion different snowflakes out there. But seriously, nobody knows how many different snowflakes there are. But I can show you some of them up close with my super zoom-o-matic. Check out these snowflakes. They all sort of have 6 sides. Weird. I'm not sure if they're different or the same though. So let's see. Different, same. Oh wait, no, different. Forget it. I'd rather look at a bajillion snowflakes all at once than each flake one at a time, because that would mean snow day! Though I'm with Elizabeth on the next question.
Why can't it just be sunny all the time?
That would be amazing, Elizabeth. To figure it out, please welcome my special guest, TV weatherman, Frank Cavallaro.
Hey, Harrison, how's it going?
Hi, Frank. Welcome to my show.
Nice to be here.
Now, did you bring your thunder for the interview today?
No, but I got something else for you.
Oh.
Some snow.
Okay, so could we have sun all the time?
I don't think so, because there's always going to be some cloud cover around, so therefore it'll block the sun's rays.
So no permanent sun?
Actually, that's a good question. You know, there's going to be a time every year, I'm going to use the globe here, there's going to be a time every year for 6 months where the North Pole, as the Earth rotates, will have daylight for 6 months.
Well, I'm just going to move there.
No, hold on now. It doesn't mean it's going to be hot. But look at what happens 6 months later. The South Pole will get the sun, and the North Pole is dark for 6 months as the Earth rotates.
Living in darkness? I'll leave that to the mushrooms. Anyway, here's a question from Shakur.
My question is, why is there wind?
The short answer is 3 being chilly. But seriously, I found out that the sun causes wind. The sun heats up the land and the air, which causes hot air to rise. Then cold air zooms in to take its place. Hey, I should make a song about this. It could be a rap. Hit it! Yo, yo, hot air goes up, cold air goes down. That's when we feel wind on the ground. It blows around leaves and sticks and twigs. It even blows off my grandpa's wig. Land heats fast and water slow. That changes how the wind will blow. Yeah, wind will go just where it needs, 'cause air heats up at different speeds. All this talk about wind takes my breath away. Hey, that reminds me, I can make my own wind. See? Wind. You can measure the direction and the speed of the wind using something called a windsock. Frank will show us.
Uh-oh. Do try this at home.
Here, I brought this sock for you, Frank.
We're not here to measure smell. We're here to measure wind.
Well, I think you can also do it with a paper bag, so you can try this at home. Here, show us.
Okay, let's try this. I'm going to use a fan in this paper bag. This is a light breeze. Anything over 10, 11 kilometers an hour is a light breeze. But watch what happens if we get a gust of strong winds.
Whoa, it opened right up.
And this could cause damage to branches, trees, roofs, and your hair.
Not my hair. Yeah.
Yeah, your hair. So Harrison, you may have noticed at airports and helipads, they have these windsocks there. You know what they do?
Yeah, are they those orange things, right? I don't know what they are, though, what they do, I mean.
Well, most planes will land and take off against the wind.
Okay. So that means?
That means that they look at the windsock, and that tells them which runway to use as they're approaching the airport.
So a windsock is the airport's version of our paper bag.
That's right.
So I guess if a plane is landing, they'd be facing that way, right?
That's right.
They'd come down. Okay, so what can kids use this bag for outside?
Well, you can actually go in your backyard and take out a bag on a windy day and put up the bag, and it'll tell you how strong the winds are.
And which direction,
and which direction. And if there's no wind, then look what happens to the bag. It just dies.
Well, Frank, I just thought of another thing you can do with the paper windsock.
What's that?
Well, if you blow it up with air, and then you can make thunder. Here's another question. It's from Ben.
Where do clouds come from?
I looked it up, Ben, and I made this animation to show you where clouds come from.
So these water vapors in the air grab onto a piece of dust. And when a billion of their buddies do the same thing, we start to see them together as a cloud. The air up there is colder, so the cold air causes the water to condense. Then these drops crowd together like it's a huge party and start bumping into each other. As the droplets bump together, they form bigger and bigger droplets, and then when they're too heavy to float in the sky, they fall as rain. Here's a question from Chloe.
How do weather people know if it's gonna be sunny or not?
The Flat Earth Corner!
How does a weatherman in ancient Babylon know if it's going to be sunny or not tomorrow? Astrology, of course. If I look up in the heavens, I can see that the moon is in Virgo, in the 4th house. Jupiter is rising. That means I predict you're going to get good news, win friends, and influence poultry. Also, it's going to be sunny and mild. Mars is activating my 2nd solar house. This can't be happening! Maybe I should have dissected a chicken instead. In ancient times, people used to use the stars and the planets to try to predict the weather. But it didn't always work out. So now we have high-tech equipment that helps us predict the weather accurately. Well, most of the time. Right, Frank?
Yeah.
I guess that's a sensitive topic for you. I mean, how do you predict the weather? Do you flip a coin?
No. We use radar, satellite, we have different data, computer models that show us the jet stream, the wind, systems that are developing. We put everything together, and that's how your forecast comes out.
How come with all this high-tech equipment, you still get the weather wrong sometimes?
Well, Harrison, you know, Mother Nature's always full of surprises. The weather can change drastically, very quickly.
How can the weather change so fast?
Things happen. The winds change direction, brings in colder air, temperatures drop, then the warmer air comes in, temperature goes up. It happens.
Wouldn't you be able to see the wind changing directions and stuff with all your fancy high-tech equipment?
And most of the time we do, but there are exceptions to the case where sometimes the weather just changes drastically that the computer did not pick up. But We're getting a lot better. We now have long-range forecasts. We can tell you the weather 6, 7, 8 days down the road. But I got to tell you, it's tough to do the weather sometimes, but it's fun presenting it.
Well, let's see how hard Frank's job really is with... Today, my contestants are Justin and Samantha. So today, you're going to be using your knowledge of wind, clouds, and forecasting to become TV weather forecasters. Think you can do it?
Yeah.
Okay then, Frank, please tell us how you do your job on TV.
Okay, guys, follow me. So this is where it all happens, guys.
It's all green in here.
Frank says he stands in front of a green wall when he presents the weather on TV. That's because there's a technical process that takes all the green out of the picture so he can put any kind of background behind us. Like this, or if you're a TV weather person, a map.
This is a clicker, by the way. Every time I press on this, a different map goes on. It could be a radar, a satellite, whatever I want to show. This advances my map, so it's all computerized.
So let's show the kids at home. They see a map behind us right now, right?
That's right. They see a map, and when I click, the map will change. And you point.
Okay, let's do the challenge. Here's a map of the world. I'm going to be telling you different weather conditions, and your mission is to try and predict the weather and where it will occur. Now, there are 5 different weather icons: sun, snow, rain, cloud, and wind.
And I'll be asking you where to place the specific icon to a corresponding city. But here's the catch. The viewers at home will see the map. You won't see the map. You're going to have to use that monitor.
It's just like how Frank does his weather forecast. Your goal is to make as few mistakes as possible. Okay, Samantha, you're up first. Justin, you can go downstairs and have some milk and cookies with my mom.
Yes, I got the fresh ones.
Leave some for us, though.
Maybe.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, first question. Water droplets have formed giant heavy clouds over London. What's going to happen? Oh, Samantha's going for the rain icon. Not wasting any time. Yeah, that's it. Good job. Okay.
Next question. The hot air over Thunder Bay is rising and cold air is moving in. Go.
Samantha's grabbed the wind icon. Oh, she's close. Not quite. Yes, she's got it. Okay. Treble cone is in the southern hemisphere, and it's July. Well, Samantha's found the southern hemisphere, but can't seem to locate treble cone. And is that the right icon? No,
that's not it.
Not right.
That one's a little hard.
What happens in the northern hemisphere in July?
It becomes hot.
What happens in the southern hemisphere in July?
It becomes cold. Oh.
There you go.
That's correct. It's snowing.
Okay. Water vapor is condensing over Beijing. Go ahead.
Samantha's going for the rain icon again. No.
I'll read the question again. Water vapor is condensing over Beijing. What's happening?
Clouds.
There you go.
There you go. Perfect. And that's it. Okay, Samantha, you're done. We'll send you downstairs for some milk and cookies, and now we'll bring Justin up and see how he does. Okay, Justin, now you're up. The first question is, water droplets have formed giant heavy clouds over London. What's going to happen? Justin wastes no time in grabbing the rain icon. That's right.
Next question. The hot air over Thunder Bay is rising and cold air is moving in. Go.
Justin's checking out the monitor to see where Thunder Bay is. No. Yep, there you go. That's it. Okay, treble cone is in the southern hemisphere, and it's July. Justin also going straight for the sun. No.
Wrong icon.
Nope.
Listen to the question carefully.
Treble cone is in the southern hemisphere. It's July. Justin's going for the rain icon. Oh, but he changes his mind. There you go, that's it.
Final question. Water vapor is condensing over Beijing. What's it going to be?
Justin's got the cloud icon, but where's Beijing? And Justin's found it.
All right.
And now we'll get Samantha and announce the winner. Samantha, you can come up now. Okay, And the winner is Justin!
Yes.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Good job, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now we have a question from Max.
Why are tornadoes dangerous if they're just air?
Yeah, how is air dangerous? I mean, I can just push it with my hands.
Well, Harrison, air could be dangerous. When the pressure starts going up and down drastically in a short period of time, it can cause some serious damage. I want to do a little demonstration on a tornado.
Okay.
And of course, tornadoes can cause some serious damage, as we all know. Look at that. The wind speed of tornadoes sometimes could hit over 400 kilometers an hour, over 250 miles an hour.
Whoa.
And the thing with tornadoes, they don't give you a lot of time to get away. They just pop up because the pressure goes down, the pressure goes up, and this is what happens. And that's why tornadoes are very, very dangerous.
That's crazy. Now to find out how dangerous tornadoes really are, let's talk to George Coronas, who's a real live storm chaser. He's out chasing storms as we speak. Hello, George. I see you're out in some terrible weather. You could catch a cold out there, you know?
Harrison, as a storm chaser, catching a cold is the least of my worries.
So first of all, I think the kids at home probably want to know, what is a storm chaser?
Well, what I do is I try to get up close to the most dangerous part of the storm and then send in my reports so that people downstream of the storm can get those reports and hopefully save a few lives.
That sounds pretty risky. Why are tornadoes so dangerous?
Well, it certainly can be dangerous. It's not so much that the wind is blowing, it's what the wind is blowing. Pieces of debris, which could be branches, bricks, cars, sometimes even houses.
Wow.
So have you ever been inside of a tornado?
I have actually been inside a tornado once before with debris flying around. It's a very, very scary experience, one that I don't want to do again.
How'd you end up being right inside of a tornado and stuff?
Well, sometimes a tornado will change its path. I'll be tracking the storm and it will change direction, and sometimes I have to get out of the way. It's a force of nature. It can be very unpredictable at times.
So what technology do you use to help you chase?
Well, I've got all kinds of technology here in my storm chase vehicle. I've got my laptop computer that has satellite and radar imagery. I've got all my radios that I can use to send my reports in to the National Weather Service. GPS, all kinds of gadgets. It's basically a mobile command center on wheels.
So I'm pretty sure everybody watching wants to know, where do you go to the bathroom when you're chasing storms?
When you're on a storm, Harrison, anywhere you can. Anywhere you can.
That's a little awkward.
Sometimes it is. There's not a lot of trees out in Kansas, so you just have to find a place, and it's not always easy.
Do you get any adrenaline going when you're chasing the storms?
Absolutely, it's a bit of an adrenaline rush, especially when you're up close to a tornado, when the wind speed can be several hundreds of kilometers per hour. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I got some kind of adrenaline rush out of it.
Do you have to ever, drive away or, run away from storms or tornadoes?
There's been numerous times where I've had to get out of the path of a tornado to turn tail and flee. I try to do a dangerous thing in as safe a manner as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, looking at the radar right now, it looks like I might have a developing tornado on the horizon.
Are you gonna go out and chase that right now?
Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to blast west here. I have a developing tornado.
Wow.
Hold on, let me get the radio here. Yeah, this is George K. relaying a message. It looks like we might have a tornado forming just to my west. I'm gonna try and intercept and get closer. Harrison, I gotta go.
Well, thanks for being on the show, George. It was great to have you, and I guess you have to go chase this storm.
Okay, I'm headed straight for the tornado. Stay in touch.
Okay, be safe. Bye. Whew, George sure does love his scary weather. Speaking of scary weather, here's a question from Samantha.
Why does hail hurt so much?
Ah, hail. The snowball's angry cousin. Usually a raindrop grows until it's too heavy, and then it will fall to the ground. Matter of fact, let's check back in with my buddy, the raindrop.
Hail is created when the raindrops, instead of falling down, get blown further up to colder air. The raindrops freeze into ice, get bounced around by the wind, and get bigger and bigger until they get too heavy and fall.
This means that instead of having a gentle drop of rain, you have a painful ball of ice. Ah! It's like waking up in the middle of a snowball fight. Watch these clips that George sent us!
On George's last storm chase in Nebraska, he found hailstones as big as baseballs.
Man, Weather is no joke. I've found out a lot about weather, so I think it's time to answer Joy's question that started today's episode.
How come weather just changes to other weather? Like first it's hot, then it's cold.
The big answer is... there's lots of reasons. The tilting of the Earth changes the seasons. Wind blows when the sun heats up the air. Water vapor forms clouds, and clouds block the sun. But there's no clouds here today, so I'm gonna go outside and enjoy the beautiful day. See you next time for more Finding Stuff Out.